Hey guys, what's happening? Just wanted to go over a little event I had this weekend here. I had my depersonalization episode. Like always, it's been haunting me for the past 2 weeks. I mean, it's been just absolutely brutal. And this Saturday, I was giving my daughter a bath, and I was like at just the breaking point, like consciously. I was like, this is the closest I could ever imagine getting to like mentally detaching from my body. I mean, it was horrible, but I'm like panicking because it's like I don't understand what consciousness is and like why I'm conscious and what things are, and everything kind of like loses its meaning, right? So when you're like kind of in the world, right? At least you're kind of tethered to things and things that are comfortable, and this means that, this means that, this is who they are, to me or whatever. But and then when DP hits, it's like everything just nothing means anything, and you're like trying hard to even find the meaning and like the experience that you're experiencing. It's like terrifying. It's like there's nothing to hold on to except the feeling that the consciousness that you're experiencing may not exist either. You know what I mean? It's like it's super hardcore. It feels kind of like everything's just like a carcass, and you're like wondering where the reality is, where the realness is, and that's like the hardest part, is trying to find meaning when meaning gets stripped away from everything. You know what I mean? Even like you. So I cried. I cried, and I was like praying, and I went and I was watching. So like my favorite show is The Chosen. It's about the disciples of Jesus, but like this is like a good show. I mean, it's not, Jesus like kind of funny and has a good sense of humor, and like the disciples are great. Everything about that show is like fantastic. So I always go to this scene, the pool of Bethesda, and I watch it, and it's where Jesus heals this guy who's been waiting at this fountain that he thinks he's been paralyzed since he was young, and he's waiting at a fountain, and like it bubbles every day, and he always tries to get down to it, to get into it when the fountain bubbles, because he thinks it's going to heal him, right? And then Jesus comes and asks him why he's still here, and he knows that the man knows that what he's looking for is going to heal him is not here, and he wonders why he's still here waiting. And the guy says he doesn't know. And then Jesus ends up healing him and stuff. So anyway, you'll have to check that out if you haven't. It's like my favorite thing ever. So I was watching that, and I started like just bawling, right? I mean, because it was like a different kind of bawling. It was kind of like something was getting like pulled out of my stomach. You know what I mean? It was like something was kind of like getting freed from me, was trapped in me. And like I was like, after I was done, I was like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, and then my mom comes here, and then she was bringing me some valerian root. I was going to try it to help me sleep, and she was saying that she was at Walgreens, and 3 guys approached her, and they were asking, they approached her at night at Walgreens, kind of sketchy Walgreens, right off the road street from my house. Not a horrible area, but there's a lot of carjackings going on in Minneapolis, and she gets concerned about that. She's nuts about carjacking. She thinks everybody's in a carjack. But so she like pulled out a knife or whatever when they got close, and she's like, "Whoa, hold on, what's going on?" You know what I mean? And they approached her, and they were like, we were gonna see if we could pray for you, right? Or if you need anybody to have prayers. And like my mom's like, "No, you don't need to pray for me, but you can pray for my son," because I was telling her how much of a hard time I was having. And then they asked what my name was, and she told them, and I guess they had maybe prayed for me afterwards or something. And I'm assuming it was right at the time I was watching that scene, right? So, when she told me that, I was like, oh, it's just, and ever since that day, my DP has been a lot better. It's still there. It's always lingering, but, I was like at a low. I was like, God, there's just no way. You're given what you can handle, but it's like, how much can a person handle, before they just disintegrate? You know what I mean? And it's like, when you lose your identity and you lose everything that's sacred and everything that's you, it's like, damn, what's left? And like, I was at that point. I was like, this is it. It's like, if it gets lower than this, I don't know how I can get lower than this. so, um, so yeah, I mean, God saved me from that one and reached his hand out and helped me and guided me. And, it was pretty sweet. It's just been having a hard time. Everything's kind of rough lately with the DP and the way the world is, and people are nuts. And I go everywhere and it's just not comfortable. Everything feels hostile. You know what I mean? Even if everybody's happy, it's like I just like feel this vulnerability that people can pick up on, or they're gonna pick up on, and they're going to um, try to prey into or try to expose, right? So I'm always kind of on the defense and always kind of just like trying to protect this thing that's still me, because I have a tenuous grasp on what I think I am, so it's difficult. I don't like doing much. I like being by myself. I like having my kid over, take her every week, and hanging out with her because she's just a little piece of purity, and she's fun, and we like fight each other and wrestle, and it's that helps me too. Is like when I can get out of my head and focus on doing something for someone else, then it takes the weight of my consciousness off me, so I can like focus on something that's not me, even if it feels like that's not real either. But I just want to give you guys, word out there and tell you that there's hope, and you can pray about it, and it'll come. It will help. That's the only thing that helps. And check out that scene. It's like, when Jesus talks about living water that you never get thirsty again. I mean, that's it. It's like you can go to money, you can go to drugs, you can go to all these things you think are going to fulfill you, but at the end of the day, it's like you're just going to be thirsty again. You know what I mean? And reality and man has a way of trying to make people thirsty, so they come to it. That's how the economy, and that's how greed, and that's how people survive off other people, sometimes exploiting those things and taking advantage of people, so they come back and are trying to feed whatever those people that are selling them. So it's difficult. The world is nuts. I'm just tired of ignorant people in control, and I mean, just it's like I look around me and I'm like, what's the deal? You know what I mean? And I feel even more pressure on me because now I'm suffering the consequences of other people's actions, which I've had enough of when I was younger. I was always under the control of a man that was had his own issues, and he took all his issues out on me. So I mean, I've lived that life, and I'm over that. But one of the best things I ever did was I actually forgave him. I think that was like 3 months ago. My stepdad was very abusive, very physically, mentally abusive. And he, I watched another Chosen scene or something about forgiveness, I think it was, and I reached out to him. His name is Brad, and I talked to him, and we had actually a conversation over email, and it was awesome. He's actually changed as well, and he's been through quite a lot of things. He had something wrong with his brain or something, I believe, and he had to have surgery, and it brought him close to God too. And we talked, and it healed that part of me, and I forgave him, and I told him that, and he like messaged me happy birthday and stuff, and it's like I'm not gonna obviously have him over for dinner and hang out, you know what I mean? But if you can forgive those people that really hurt you, there's a lot of growth under that when you're finally brave enough to say, like, and you're not taking away from yourself, and you're not giving them leverage over you when you're telling them that you forgive them. You know what I mean? It's like you're forgiving them, just telling them that they're human, and they made a mistake, and you can tell them that they hurt you too, and just tell them that you forgive them, and everybody has their issues because he was abused as well. So it's like we're all human, you know what I mean? And it's not right to take the pain that you have out on other people, but that's the only way sometimes people know how to do it. So just to forgive them and be able to move on with your life, it's like it can be huge. So that's what I wanted to catch up on and talk to you guys about here. Is just, I know there's people who watch these videos that deal with the same thing I do, and sometimes it feels like the weight of consciousness is so much that it's just going to absolutely destroy you, you know what I mean? Because you just don't understand it. You don't know what's going on. You don't know why you're experiencing it. You don't know where you are, right? So, I mean, when that happens, pray, and you know it'll pass, and it'll turn into something else, and it may come back, but there's fruit here. There's knowledge, there's fruit, there's, Jesus said something like someone who sees the world as a carcass, or if you see the world and you see a carcass, and the world is not worthy of that person, or something like that, something along those lines. But I mean, that's kind of what the world is, it's a carcass. The only thing that makes the world what it is spirit. Spirit is the truth and the reality in the world, and everything else is just kind of dust. You know what I mean? So you got to figure out what feeds your spirit and chase that, and you're never going to be hungry. You're never going to be thirsty. So, do what you love and figure out what you love, and, I got to find their own ways. So hopefully this helps somebody who's going through a hard time like I did. I mean, this weekend was brutal, but I'm feeling better now. So, I don't know. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.